Welcome to Flourish in 5. My name is Heather Lottinen, and every Friday I share a story, a lesson, or a quick idea with the goal of helping you gain a new perspective. And actually, this is episode 100 of the podcast. So if you could please do me a favor and share, comment, review, all of those things, subscribe on any podcast player or our YouTube channel, I would greatly appreciate it, because it helps to spread the word. Okay, so this week, I want to ask you if you have anybody in your life that gets on your nerves or they do something that you don't agree with. And what I'm talking about specifically happens quite often in your relationship with your spouse or maybe your family or your close friends, but also can be just with the general public. So for instance, if somebody does something that you don't like, or I ask myself, like, why is this getting on my nerves? And it's usually because I don't agree with the way they're doing something. So that's what's happening. You don't agree with how someone is doing something. You would do it differently. And therefore, it gets on your nerves because you have certain expectations about how people should behave or what they should do in certain circumstances. So I was trying to think of a good example to share with you. And I could only come up with this example from my dad, which is funny because I was talking about him last week as well. And he for sure does not know that he is the subject of these podcasts, but my parents live with us. I've said that. And my dad and I are very, very, very different people. Some might argue that we're very much alike, but it's the differences that stand out. Okay, so my dad is the type of person who he's functional. He likes to get things done. So say he's working on a project around the house, he just wants to get it done so that it's working. And I am the type of person that appreciates aesthetics. I want it to look nice and I want it to be done properly. And this is a conflict we've had for, a million years. So when he does something and he gets it done, I'm like, roll my eyes. Why does it look that way? Why couldn't you finish it? Why couldn't you make it look better? And he would be honestly confused by that because he would think, well, what's wrong? It's finished. He also looks homeless. Okay, he is clearly not homeless because he is for sure in my home. But he doesn't worry about things like clothing, outfits, how they look, or his hair. He's a big shaggy beard. And if you were to show up at our homestead and he was outside working, you would literally think there was a homeless man here. And if we've met in person or if you've seen me, I care very much about my appearance and what I'm wearing. Hair, makeup, clothing, very, very important to me. We're just very different. I don't understand it. And so guess what? It gets on my nerves. But the reason it gets on my nerves is because it's not how I am and it's not how I would choose to be. So I don't understand it when someone else acts that way. I have to wonder if much of the resistance we feel or the conflict or angst that we feel towards another person and what they're doing, is it because of what they're doing, or is it just because we wouldn't do it that way and we don't like what we don't understand? And I'm not sure what the answer is there, but I'm trying to get past this. So I'm working through this with you in real time. When he finishes a project and it's done, I do have an example. Maybe this was last year or maybe 2 years ago. We have 2 air conditioner units sitting outside of our house. And so I jump on Pinterest and I find all of these ideas for using wood pallets to kind of fence in your air conditioners, right? To make them look nice, right? Okay, you got it. You can probably even picture it. So I say this to my dad, and I know he has pallets, and I'm like, you could just build them around like a fence, right? He's like, yeah, I can do that. So he does it. Oh my word. Oh, have mercy. And he's like proud of it, you guys. And I can promise you, I need to find a photo so I can show you. What he did was he mismatched all these pallets, and not in a cute way. And he put them up on cinder blocks. What? Okay, it looked horrible. And then I feel like, well, if I say anything or I complain, then I'm the jerk because he got it done. But he got it done his way, which is functional, and not my way, which is functional plus aesthetically pleasing, right? To the overall look of the landscape. So again, I've said this is an ongoing conflict with us. My dad is 76 years old. I don't believe he'll be changing anytime soon. And I don't think this is an issue with him. So whatever issue you have with someone else, you understand they're not the problem, right? It's you, or in this case, it's me. What would it look like in our lives if we could just start to accept people for who they are and the way they do things? I wonder how that would play out. I bet it would be a lot more pleasant. We would have a lot more joy in our lives. So think maybe of your spouse, something that they do that really gets on your nerves, or they reacted to something and you had a different expectation of how they would react because that's not how you would react. Could you just let them be themselves? And could you just accept them for who they are rather than be upset or try to change them? I am posing these questions to you just as much as I am posing them to myself. Instead of resisting or fighting what is, so in my case, my dad's lack of aesthetic awareness, instead of resisting that because I don't understand it, could I just accept it and know that we are two different people? Of course, the answer to that is yes, you guys, but this is a lot harder in practice, obviously, than it is to talk about it. I'd love to get your feedback. Could you leave me a message and let me know your thoughts? I'll see you in the next episode.